Hello. Welcome. Welcome to episode number 1 of my podcast, Maggie Kate Talks a Lot. My name is Maggie Kate Sullivan, and I've been thinking a lot about this past year in my life. 2024 was a big year, not just for me. I think it was like a pretty big year for the world as a whole. I feel like there was a lot that happened this year. Today I'm going to talk about my New Year's resolutions. I know it's a few weeks late. I don't care. It took me a few weeks to process all of 2024. For me, it usually takes like February for the idea of like a new year to set in. So to me, it's New Year still, okay? And I'm talking about my resolutions. Before I talk about the resolutions and goals that I set for this year, I want to take a look back at the ones I set last year. My 2024 resolutions. In January last year, I set 8 goals for myself, which is kind of a lot, and they were pretty big goals. So I want to review them and see how much I improved. Did I make last year me proud? Let's find out. My first goal was to keep a journal, and it took me a while, but I definitely did do this eventually. I think the reason it took me so long to get into the habit of journaling was I was like putting too much pressure on myself to write every single day and like write about my day and my feelings and like whatever. But I wrote more when I had the mindset of I can write about whatever I want, whenever I want. So instead of like, dear diary, here's what happened today, I found more success just writing how I didn't feel any pressure. So, it was different than how I envisioned it, but I would say I was successful in this goal. And I think that journaling, like, you don't have to make it like a diary. Like, I was journaling, like maybe I wouldn't write for a few days, and then one day I'd write 6 pages about how I felt about a lecture that I went to or something. Like, it's not like always the same. You can change it up a little bit. That's my piece of advice for anyone who's trying to start writing more. My second goal last year was to stay organized, like more organized. I've always, for my entire life, and I think that this is a pretty common thing for kids in general, especially people with ADHD like me, but I've always had a very hard time keeping my room clean and like pretty much anything clean or organized. And like I lose my stuff all the time, and I wanted to crack down on it last year. I was like, this is it. We're getting better. I'm changing it. I mean, I probably spend hundreds of dollars every year on things that I literally just lose. Like for example, I bought these nice pens and pencils at the beginning of the school year, and in less than a month, I had to buy new ones. They just disappeared. They just teleported into the nether realm. I don't know how it happened, but they were just gone. Yeah, I'm getting there. I think that I'm working on it. I wouldn't say I improved exponentially or anything, but I have more of like a vision now. And, there's some things that I never like move from their place. Like my new pens, I did just buy some new pens a week ago, and after I lost my old ones again, I keep one in my room, one in my purse, and the rest of them in my pencil case, in my backpack for my pens and my pencils and my stationery. And I always make sure to put them back after I use them, except for the other day when I put it into the kitchen, but that doesn't count. That's an outlier. And I think a part of this too is like getting older, becoming more mature. My organizational skills are kind of adapting and improving, so it's a journey. I'm waving around this, by the way, you're probably seeing this. This is my computer mouse, so that I can scroll up and down on the Google Doc I have where I took notes so I don't go off topic. So if you see me waving my hand, talking with my hands a bit, it's just my computer mouse to my computer. My third goal was to stop a bad habit of mine, which is picking at my skin. I know like maybe that sounds like a little gross. But it's a problem. And guys, I fumbled this one so hard. I've been picking at my skin my whole life. Like I'll like pick around like my nail beds and like it's like biting it's essentially just like a like a extension of biting my nails, except I bite the entire finger. It's insane. And now, like in more recent years, I've had a problem with picking at like my face, like my acne. It makes my acne so much worse, and my scalp too. Like I look like an ape right now. So yeah, no, this year did not improve. It got worse actually, but that's okay. We're gonna keep working on it. It's not over yet. My fourth resolution was to be healthier overall as like a person. There were kind of 2 parts to this, which was diet and exercise. And And I could honestly make an entire episode just about my diet alone this past year. Like, so much happened. So we'll just say that it's complicated. It was complicated. Food was a very goofy topic this year. But I think that exercise was improved for the most part. I mean, I'll still have my bed rotting episodes every so often, as one does. But I discovered a little life hack that I'll share. I'll share a life hack with you if you need to like exercise more. So I have a treadmill in my basement, and this life hack does require a treadmill or some sort of like treadmill adjacent, just like anything where it's like a very like controlled environment. And I'll just set my phone or my iPad up on the screen of the treadmill, and I'll watch YouTube, and I'll just like doom scroll for hours like I would sitting in my bed doing nothing, except I do it while I'm walking. Like, I'm going like 2 miles per hour. You don't have to like go for a run or anything. Yeah, like you can wear pajamas and slippers. You can get yourself a fizzy drink, and like it's great. Yeah, and the weather's really bad right now. It is January, and it was negative 25 degrees Fahrenheit at my house, like in my town, over the weekend. The other day, negative 25 degrees Fahrenheit. Do you know how cold that is? One of the pipes in my house froze. It's awful. It's awful. And I had to drive around. Ugh, bad. Bad. So it's really difficult to exercise outside right now, or to like go to like a gym. So yeah, the treadmill is great. I also started to be a bit more interested in like ballet and Pilates this year, which was something that I hadn't really done before. Well, I mean, I did ballet when I was little, but Pilates was new, and yoga. And I'm in theater, so I'm always getting a bit of exercise, dancing in theater. So yeah, I would say that this resolution from last year went well. It was a good one. My fifth resolution from 2024 was to dress how I want to and express myself more freely. And I think it's important to note that when I set this goal, I was very into alternative fashion and hippie fashion and stuff that I didn't see other people around me wearing as much. And, throughout the year, my style became a bit more like basic and preppy. So like a lot easier to express myself without being judged. Now, don't get me wrong. Like, that is not to say that I do not still enjoy alternative fashion very much. I still think it's like really awesome, and I still have all of my fishnets, locked away in the closet. But it was like I've been wearing trendier outfits, so that did make this goal a little bit easier. But yeah, I think I did get a little bit more confident with like clothing and styles and makeup and stuff like that. Also, like, my skills in fashion and makeup and hair and stuff like that got better. I changed my hair a bit this year too. I got like 2 or 3 fairly drastic haircuts in the past 12 months. The sixth goal I set for myself was like a really basic, very common goal. I feel like everyone always has this goal, which was just to make more money. I remember specifically, we had traveled for Christmas last year, and I was in the airport on the way back home, and it was like New Year's Day, I think, maybe the 2nd, and I looked at my bank account, and I had negative $12 in my spending account, which I didn't even know that was possible, actually. I'm surprised I didn't get a fee for that. It was because I had like $5 in my account, and then I got charged automatically for Spotify, so it negative money. Like, I didn't even know you could have negative money. Like, that's crazy. I was in debt to Spotify. But then I made money, and I did, and I babysat a lot this last year, especially over the summer. There was one family I would stay there until like 3 a.m. sometimes, because they would go to like concerts that were kind of far away and stuff like that. They were up partying, they were up at the club, and I just put their kid to bed and then like sat and watched YouTube in their really nice house until 3 a.m. Yeah, but it was kind of exhausting. But it was very profitable. Some of the families that I babysat for were very wealthy, so I would get like tips, which was nice. Yeah, I definitely made the money. I definitely met the goal of making the money. I did not specify in this goal what I would do with that money. And I bought a lot of stuff. Pretty much everything that you see in this little backdrop here, that is all stuff that I bought with my babysitting money. So I don't have that money anymore. That money is gone. but I made it. So we're going to say that I met the goal because I made money. So the last two goals from last year were really similar, so I'm kind of looping them together into one. Essentially it was just like a list of like skills and aspects of my life that I wanted to improve. So I wanted to get better at music, performance, art, and mental health. So starting with music, I started lessons with a new piano teacher, and I had a couple performances that went pretty well. Still in the orchestra at school, and I placed sixth violin in the chair placement right now. And first chair is the best, and there's like 11 or 12 of us, so I'm like right smack dab in the middle, which is okay. I'm fairly satisfied with that, especially since I focus more on piano than violin anyway. I learned how to sing like for real this year, which was epic. That was pretty cool. I got two of my biggest roles yet in theater, kind of going into performance here. I got to play Martha in White Christmas, which had a solo, which was low-key very scary. If you are familiar with the White Christmas musical version, which is different than the movie version, the characters are a little different. It was really fun. I mean, I do love doing theater, so. Like, I'm pretty happy with my progress overall with, acting and singing and even dancing too, like, through theater and stuff. As far as art goes, I learned how to oil paint this year. I oil painted for the first time, which is so fun because I always love the way it looks, and I've done a lot of acrylic and watercolor and a little bit of gouache. I hate gouache. I'm sorry. This is a little side tangent. If you're an artist, I'm sorry. I know people who love gouache and they like die by it. I hate it so much. It's like, they say it's like a mix of acrylic and watercolor, but it's like the worst of both worlds to me because like it dries fast and it doesn't really blend that well. And I just don't like it. But okay, sorry. that was like a little side tangent there, but yeah, oil painting, love it. The only thing I hate is that it makes my hands smell like toxic chemicals and gasoline, and it makes the room smell like toxic chemicals and gasoline. And I have proper ventilation, whatever, and it's in like my art classroom. Like I can't do anything about the ventilation in there. Like it's set up how it's supposed to be. This semester I got to do studio paint instead of like the basic like painting classes. It's like I'm in with the other painting kids, but it's like my own time, and I'm deciding to I chose to specialize in oil, which is really fun. So I get to essentially do this entire semester just oil painting on my own, and that'll be really fun. I did not draw as much as I wanted to, and I had this like fun little film idea that I really wanted to make, but like it never got off the ground. And I've been meaning to write more too, like writing, and I didn't get really much of that either, but that's okay. So it wasn't all success, but I think there was a lot of success. As far as mental health goes, 2024 was a really weird year. The first half of the year went pretty well. I mean, I had a lot of fun. I hung out with my friends. I had a lot of new experiences. I did a lot of really fun stuff, but this last fall, however, was not it. I was not doing well. It was bad. It was it was really awful, but it's okay. I'm doing a lot better now. We deal. Life goes on. We're gonna be all right. So yeah, 2024 was a pretty good year for me overall, I would say. And knowing what I know, having learned what I have learned, I have set new goals for myself, my 2025 resolutions, and I think that these goals are better and they're a bit more specific than last year's. So yeah, let's get into that. Okay, my first New Year's resolution for 2025 is to get good at a physical activity, like specifically. I have so many different hobbies and interests and like things that I do, but aside from theater, I don't really have any physical activities that are like hobbies. Like I'll exercise and I'll force myself to exercise, but that's not a hobby, like that's not something that I do for fun. That's something that I do to try to feel good, to try to feel like I'm not lazy all the time. This is similar to last year's like goal to be healthier and to exercise more, but it's more like something specific. Like, I really want to get into something specific and like have an interest in something, Something easy would be like yoga or Pilates, and I'm not necessarily saying that those are very easy things to get good at, but I could do it from my home. I wouldn't have to spend a lot of money on equipment, stuff like that. I really love watching ballet, and I did some ballet when I was younger, and I mean, I love dancing. Same with gymnastics. It's just a lot harder because I'm so old. I'm a little old lady for starting off like real ballet and gymnastics. Like I'm just kind of like too old to start, you know? And I know I could take a beginner's adult class, but then it's going to be a bunch of like older, like full of like adults. I don't know. I've also kind of been interested, like very passively, kind of like interested in tennis recently, which is so like weird. I don't know. We'll see. I'll have to choose something. It'll be easier, like how I said earlier, how it's been like really awful weather recently. It's going to probably be bad weather until like May. Where I live, it's so awful. It's winter like all the time. So maybe this spring, this summer, I'll find something that I really enjoy. Resolution number 2 is to get really good at piano. I'm at a point in my life where I currently have some opportunities for piano scholarships. Getting really good at piano to be able to help me afford my education would be pretty nice. So I gotta get good. I gotta clutch up. Gotta lock in. Yeah. Resolution number 3 is to improve my painting skills. I mentioned this earlier. This one's kind of already in motion because I'm currently in my painting. I have my painting studio class right now, and I'm going to be doing oil paint, so that's really exciting. And hopefully I had this joke with my friends like years ago that I was going to take a bunch of the painting classes, and I was going to get really good at painting, and then at the end of the year I would paint a portrait. Like my goal was to be good enough to paint a portrait of Markiplier in oil paint and make it look like a Renaissance painting. And I think that would be really funny to do. I'd have to talk to my art teacher and see if that's possible. So that would be really funny. Yeah, so I'm gonna get better at it. I'm gonna get better at art. It's gonna be great. I love oil paint. I just don't like the actual toxic chemicals that I have to use. All right, moving on to resolution number 4, which is to read more. I bought a bunch of books in the summer, kind of like on impulse. I bought like, I think 7 or 8 books, and I've only read 2 of them so far, and it's been like 7 months since I bought them. They're all pretty hard books too, like a lot of classics. I've been listening to audiobooks a lot, like on Spotify recently, which is good, but it's just not quite the same. My attention span is broken. My attention span is so awful. It's insane. Like, I cannot read a physical book. Like, I have to be multitasking. I have to be doing more than one thing at once. And like, if you're reading a book, you can only be doing, like, maybe you could have music on or whatever, but for the most part, you're reading a book, like, you're reading the book. But an audiobook, I can do, like, it's super convenient. I can do it while I'm driving. I can do it while I'm, like playing Minecraft. I can do it while I'm going on a walk. But it's bad. My attention span is so bad. So, like just the other day, I listened to The Stranger by Albert Camus on Spotify. But like I'm listening to some pretty like old real like books and stuff, but I was playing Block Blast on my phone the entire time. I was listening to French absurdist literature while playing Block Blast on my phone sitting in my bed because I just couldn't. I'm like actually like a toddler who needs Coco Melon playing the entire time. Like I need to be doing something else. And I could like be drawing, but I'm not. I'm playing Block Blast or Merge Drop on my phone. It's wild. So yeah, I really want to like make my attention span better and be able to read a physical book. For school, I had to get a philosophy book. I had to choose a book on philosophy. So I'm going to be reading, it's in the mail right now, along with some more equipment, by the way. Better microphone and a ring light are on the way from Amazon. If they don't work, I'm going to be so sad, but they had pretty good reviews. But in the mail with it is Descartes' Meditations, which is going to be hard. Like I already know it's going to be hard to read, but I'm hoping that I can actually read it. I can read it cover to cover and absorb it. So yeah, I'm hoping that like will help fix my attention span. I really want to heal it. And I want to read the books I spent my money on. Like I was spending a lot of money on these books and they all match too. Like they're all part of the same. I couldn't get the Penguin clothbound collection because for some reason I had to buy them either individually or they wouldn't ship to the United States. They only shipped to Europe, which is so dumb. Sorry. So I don't even remember what the thing is, but they all match. Like all of the spines are pretty and all of the classics match. I'm gonna read more this year. This is gonna be a reading year. And writing too, because I love writing, but like, the more you read, the better you write. Okay. I noticed that if you're watching the video version of this, my teeth look like really yellow in this lighting, and my acne kind of looks bad on my forehead. Guys, it's fine. We're rocking it. It's cute. It's just the lighting. Again, the ring light is on its way. Okay. Resolution number 5 is start a YouTube channel. This one has obviously come into fruition already, but it's a project I really want to work on. It would also be a really great way to make a little bit of money. It's really hard to find work where I live, and the jobs that you can find don't pay well. It's like basically like minimum wage jobs, and the jobs are like awful. Like, for example, a little side tangent, one of my best friends works at a gas station, just like selling stuff, like working as a clerk at the gas station. And I think that she gets paid like maybe 17 or 18 bucks an hour, which is really not that bad. Like during the summer, it was really hot, and they couldn't turn on the air conditioning because somebody else in the building earlier that day had been smoking meth in the bathrooms, and it got into the AC system, and instead of like calling someone and paying someone to clean it up, they were like, oh, womp womp, don't turn on the AC, otherwise it will fill the entire gas station building with meth fumes. Insane. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Like, YouTube, if I can get monetized, if I can make a little bit of money, it doesn't even have to be, I don't need a cajillion dollars. I don't need to be Mr. Beast, okay? I just need, like, a little bit. Like, $1,000. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, $1,000, and I'd be set. I'd be set for, like, a year of impulse purchases. Maybe. I mean, I'd still be making, like, I still have, like, cash savings and stuff, but this all leads nicely into resolution number 6, which is make money, but also to save money. I didn't specify that last year, if we remember, so less overspending. Okay, liberal arts degrees aren't cheap, and I have a little bit of a shopping addiction, so saving up my money for 10 years of school I still have ahead of me, which is scary. Saving up money instead of just buying useless shit online would probably be a really good idea, so I'm going to try to do that this year. My final resolution, my final New Year's resolution for 2025 is to just be a chill guy. For the sake of like my mental health and that of those around me, I want to stop being so serious all the time. Like, I just take everything so seriously, and it makes me really sad and anxious and angry, and I just want to fill my life with more lighthearted whimsy and fill my heart with love and joy and joyness. Joy and joyness. Especially in times like these where the world is honestly just such like a total mess all the time. That doesn't mean my life has to be a total mess all the time. Okay, I can be happy despite it all. I believe that your life can be happy and joyful and filled with lighthearted whimsy as well, despite all of the terrifying things that are going on in the world. There is war and natural disaster and politics. But it's okay, because I can still get a little sweet treat on the way home from school or work, and I can go sit in my little swing in my backyard and listen to my cute little music and wear my comfy clothes. Just chill, just be a chill guy, All right, that's all I have for today. Comment your resolutions below. Let me know what you accomplished last year, what you want to do this year. I want to hear it. I want to support you. You've got this, girl. So this episode was on my Spotify podcast and my YouTube channel. So whichever you have consumed today, I recommend you check out the other as well. You can find me on Instagram at Maggie Kate Sullivan also. Yeah, all right. You'll see me next time. Thank you.